the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shilt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
We are live inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. The final score here tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals win it by a final of 8-5 as the Cardinals even up this 3-game series at a game apiece. Final totals here tonight for the Cardinals, 8 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. And for the Padres, 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Padres see their 6-game winning streak come to an end. They dropped to 61-50. The Cardinals improved to 56-56. Sam Levitt with you here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Padres got off to a great start here tonight, a 4-0 lead. Randy Vasquez really rolling in this game, but then a 4-run fourth inning for St. Louis, a big 3-run home run from Pedro Pajes, a 2-run double for Mason Wynn in the 5th inning, made it 6-4. It would stay 6-4 for a while. Cardinals able to get 2 runs in the 9th inning, and that was plenty as they win this game 8-5. And really the issue today for the Padres, really 2 things. Obviously, Randy Vasquez, after the 3 scoreless innings to begin his day, was not great after that. A rough 4th inning. Then between him and Jeremiah Estrada, a rough 5th inning. But the Padres offense really, after that 4th spot they put up by the first 3 innings, they only had, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 singles the rest of the game. So they had 4 runs on 6 hits in the first 3 innings. They had 4 hits, all singles, and just 1 run the rest of the game. So that was really the issue tonight for the Padres. Offense couldn't do a whole lot after that 3rd inning. Michael McGreevy really settling in. Young right-hander goes 6 innings, 4 runs given up. And the Padres lose this one 8-5. Their 6-game winning streak comes to an end, but still an opportunity to win this series in the rubber game tomorrow. When we come back, we have all the radio highlights for you. We'll recap it from start to finish. We'll also hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later as well. Again, the final here tonight on this Saturday. Cardinals 8 and the Padres 5. Our postgame coverage continues after this.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Upgrade your outdoor living space with TimberTech, the #1 premium composite decking brand. It looks like natural wood without the costly maintenance and upkeep. TimberTech has collections with top-rated fire resistance, so you can build a beautiful outdoor space with confidence. Order free samples at TimberTech.com.
Imagine having fresh bottled water delivered to your home or business, saving...
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score, the Cardinals 8 and the Padres 5, as the Cardinals even up this three-game series at a game apiece. Our postgame coverage, as always, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, when it comes to giving you what you want, Jamul Casino isn't playing around. That's Jamul Casino Resort, of course, isn't playing around. It's way more than a place to game. It's a place where you can stay and play in every possible way. Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Tough one here tonight for the Padres. 8-5 the final. St. Louis comes back and wins it. Padres had an early lead, but really from the middle innings on, the story was the Cardinals' offense and the Cardinals' pitching staff doing a very good job here as well. We'll go back downstairs here from Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit, but first let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, the Padres had things rolling early, really rolling, both on the mound and at the plate. After Randy Vasquez tossed the scoreless first inning, Luis Arraez hit a one-out double against Cardinals starter Michael McGreevy in the bottom half. Manny Machado was next.
Machado with Arraez dancing at second. And the pitch balked in the air down the left field line. Burleson over. He looks, and it bangs off the wall. Arraez will come in to score. Manny going to try for two. Here's the throw and the tag. He is out. But the Padres take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning.
So it was an RBI single for Manny. Padres still led 1-0, going bottom two. Xander Bogaerts reached on an infield single. He was on first base for one of the new faces in the Padres lineup. That was Ramon Laureano.
And Laureano slices it the other way. That's a fair ball up the right field line, headed towards the corner. Xander speeding towards third base. He's going to be waved by Tim Leeper. Here's Donovan's relay to the dish. It is not in time. Ramon Laureano's first hit as a Padres scores Bogaerts from first, and the Padres lead it 2-0.
It was rolled an RBI triple for Laureano, a 2-0 Padre lead. Later in the inning, another new face, Freddie Fermin. He drove in a run with an RBI ground out. That scored Laureano. It was 3-0 San Diego. Let's go bottom three. Padres still leading 3-0. Jackson Merrill dug in.
Many ducks on the pond for Jackson Merrill. 1-2 hit hard on a line to deep center field. Scott's going back. He is at the wall. This one gonna go. And another run batted in for Jackson Merrill. His 8th home run of the season. Padres have scored in all 3 innings to begin the night, and they lead the Cardinals 4-0.
1 run in the first inning, 2 runs in the second, 1 more in the third, courtesy of the Merrill home run. Padres had a 4-0 lead as Vasquez took the mound in the top of the 4th inning. Cardinals put runners on first and third with 1 out. Nolan Gorman hit an RBI single. That made it 4-1. There were still 2 on base later in the inning for Pedro Pajes.
First and second, the 1-2 pitch, swung on, hit in the air deep down the left field line, way back and gone. Second balcony Western medal for Pedro Pajes. That is a game-tying 3-run homer. It is 4-4 in the 4th.
Vasquez giving up 4 runs in the 4th inning. We were still tied at 4 going top 5. Vasquez allowed a leadoff single. Jeremiah Estrada came in. He was wild to start. A 4-pitch walk, put 2 on base. He then fell behind Wilson Contreras 3-0, but Estrada battled back the strikeout Contreras and Lars Nootbaar, but there were still 2 on and 2 out for the Cardinals. Mason Wynn.
1-0. Win in the air down the left field line. That's trouble, and a fair ball going to go to the corner. Herrera scores easily. Burleson is being waved. Relay from Machado is in time, but Fermin couldn't squeeze it, and he's safe. A 2-run double for Mason Wynn, and for the first time tonight, the Cardinals lead. It's 6-4.
So the Cardinals, after trailing 4-0, they had a 4-run 4th inning, a 2-run 5th inning. They led 6-4 through 4.5 innings. Meanwhile, Michael McGreevy, the Cardinals starter, he really settled in. He tossed a scoreless 5th and a scoreless 6th. He was done after 6 and in line for the win. Padres bullpen was keeping the deficit at 2. Wandy Peralta, David Morgan, each throwing scoreless innings in the 6th and the 7th. Padres trailed 6-4 going to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Kyle Leahy took over at of the Cardinals bullpen. He pitched a 1-2-3 frame, top of the 8th inning. David Morgan, another scoreless inning, set down the Cardinals 1-2-3. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Leahy and JoJo Romero combining for a scoreless inning. That got us to the 9th inning. Yuki Matsui came in, and it was a rough outing for Yuki. A single, another single, a hit by pitch, an RBI single, a sac fly, and just like that, it was a 2-run at top of the 9th inning. Cardinals extending their lead from 6-4 to 8-4. JoJo Romero stayed on for the Cardinals in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He gave up a leadoff single and later a 2-out RBI single to Freddie Fermin. That made it 8-5. Fernando Tatis Jr. with 2 outs flew out to the warning track right in front of the fence in right. And that was the ball game here tonight. Padres did get a run to make it interesting in the bottom half of the 9th inning, but not nearly enough, trailing by 4 as they fall by a final score of 8-5. Final totals here tonight for the Cardinals: 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. For the Padres, 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Again, the Padres see their 6-game winning streak come to an end, and the Cardinals improve to 500 at 56-56. Padres drop to 61-50. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Padres fall 8-5 on this Saturday. Still a chance to win this series in the rubber game tomorrow. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
You're listening to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. The player...
just kind of spun up there, and he made him pay for it for a big homer. Got a soft hit for Herrera, and that was it.
What do you consider, like, you're trying to figure out when to pull the trigger on the bullpen? It looked like you sent him back out there for the fifth inning when you had guys warming before that.
He got one hitter. A guy got a bloop single. I don't know what the question. I don't understand your question.
Just like you have a new bullpen.
I do.
An upgraded bullpen. Things that you're considering when you are trying to figure out when to start firing those bullets.
We fired the bullet in the fifth inning. I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure. I've done it all year, but I'm not sure.
Just looking for elaboration. That's all.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't know what to.
Would you have done a batter early, or given Randy how well he had pitched till then, you're kind of fine with him?
Yeah, in hindsight, sure. I mean, that'd be great. Wish you could manage like that. Not sure what to tell you. I mean, I understand the genesis of the question, but I also have to make it very clear right now. We cannot pitch 5 innings every night out of our bullpen with 50 games to go. You just can't do it. So he gave up a single, and we went to the bullpen. He walked a guy, and a guy, went and dropped the head on the ball down the line. I really don't know what to tell you. But, I mean, I clearly understand the question, but
shifting gears to the offense, like this is kind of your first look at all those guys in the lineup, all the new guys you have. Like, what do you make of the depth that those guys kind of afford you? I know you had them yesterday, but they're all just kind of getting here. And
yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it looked good. I mean, Oriana contributed, triple down the line for me and into the game, base hit. Hernal settled in. He took good at bat last night. It's a good lineup. The other calculus of this is, we've been scoring. We scored 4 runs, and thought we'd score some more runs. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 8-5 loss for the Padres against the St. Louis Cardinals. Sam Levitt with you inside our loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Let's break that down a little bit, that 5th inning, because, look, I really thought Mike managed Randy Vasquez pretty much how he's managed him as of late. And I totally get what Mike's saying there. I mean, look, for as loaded as the Padres bullpen is, for as good as they've been, for all the optionality he has in that pen, with all that said, I totally get what he's saying, that you can't, run your bullpen out there for 5 innings every night. And clearly that was a situation where they were going to go batter to batter with Randy. And if he gave up a base hit, they were going to go get Estrada. And that's what they did. They went and got Estrada to face Burleson in the 5th inning with a runner on first base and a tie game at 4. And you can go back and look at how Mike's managed Randy. Let's look at his last 2 starts. I think it was very similar to today. Miami, top of the 5th inning. Randy's out there in a close game. Starts the 5th inning, gives up a 1-out single, and he's taken out of the game. And they go to Morejon with the Padres up 2-1 at the time. That was that game in Miami where they hung on for a 2-1 win. The bullpen was great. You look at Randy starting in St. Louis, his last start. Randy in that game, let me pull it up. Randy in that game starts the 5th inning, gets the first 2 outs, but then with the left-hander Scott, coming up, he goes to Morejon. And again, very similar, if you remember, a 2-1 game in that game as well. Padres went on to win that game 3-1. The bullpen was, again, very, very good. So, look, this was a little bit different tonight in the sense that Randy had a really rough 4th inning, so he was not nearly as clean in the outing. But it was similar in the sense that it was a close game, and it wasn't like Mike was going to go pull Randy after 4 innings. He did let him go out there, much like he did in Miami and St. Louis, let him go out there and start the 5th inning. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I know the single started that rally, but I don't fault Mike for putting Randy back out there and seeing if he can get at least another out or 2 before he goes to the bullpen, or somehow get through that 5th inning and, save an inning from the bullpen. I really don't, especially with how this offense has been scoring and a weak Cardinals bullpen. I really don't have a problem with that. I really, really don't. Look, Estrada came in. He also walked Burleson on 4 pitches, then fell behind Contreras. 3-0. He came back to strike out Contreras, strike out Nootbaar, but gives up the 2-run double to win. But Estrada contributed to that as well with the walk and with the 2-run double. So it wasn't all on Randy Vasquez. And I really, to me, that's exactly pretty much how Mike's managed Randy when going into the 5th inning in a close game. So they took it batter to batter. He gave up a single, and they took him out. I don't have a whole lot of issue with that from Mike tonight. I mean, letting Randy go out there for the 5th inning, he gave up a single, and they took him out. Hi. How you doing? Thank you very much. Good. Selfie time here inside the loft. Anyway, let me regain my train of thought here. Back to Randy. A single, and he came out of the game. I just don't have a whole lot of problem with it. I really don't. So, look, obviously it didn't work out. The other problem in this game, and I really point to this more than anything, and even before Yuki gave up the 2 runs in the 9th inning to make it an 8-4 game. Look, Padres offense was great early on, but they basically shut down after the 3rd tonight. They got 1 run late. They were down by 4 in the 9th inning. That was it. And it wasn't like it was a stellar pitching staff out there tonight for the Cardinals. McGreevy, 6 innings, 4 runs given up. The bullpen, this is a Cardinal bullpen. All their high leverage guys, really aside from Romero, have been traded away. And it was Leahy who pitched an inning and 2/3 scoreless against them. Romero got 4 outs for the save. So, look, I pin it more on the offense tonight. I really do. I know Randy wasn't great, but I just go back to I really don't have much of an issue with Randy getting an opportunity to start that inning. It's not like Randy went out there, gave up a single, a walk, a single, bases loaded, and now you've got to go get Estrada to come in and clean up the mess. He gave up a single, and Mike went and got him. I mean, the leash was very, very short. So that's me. You might disagree. I really have no issue with Mike doing that tonight. Let's step aside. When we come back, we'll get into our daily awards. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call if you want to get involved. Final score, the Cardinals 8 and the Padres 5. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Baseball season is in full swing.
Jr. Is there a rule for switch-handed pitchers? That's it, buddy. Love it. Padres will win. Let's go. Come on, Pod. But theoretically,
All right.
we can
Ryan, thank you for the phone call. Yeah, I mean, you can have a switch-handed pitcher. Now, I've got to remind myself of the rule of who has to declare first. You can have a switch pitcher. Now, I think the pitcher has to declare first what side they're going to throw from, and that would then potentially allow a switch hitter to then decide how they're going to hit. Let me refresh myself on the rule. I believe the rule is, the pitcher must declare which hand they'll use to pitch before each at bat. Yeah. So, you can have a switch pitcher. It's existed before. Ambidextrous baseball players. Pat Venditti was one of them. It's existed before. And yes, the pitcher has to declare first. And then, if you're a switch hitter, you can decide which side of the plate you want to use. Obviously, if you only hit from one side, then you're doing whatever you usually do. But yeah, it exists. Real thing, switch pitchers. If you have a phone call about the game, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. The phone number to call. Let's get to our daily awards. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game here tonight, we'll keep it on the Padres side of things because we can. David Morgan, 2 scoreless innings, really good in the 7th and 8th innings. Hey, very winnable game at that point. A 2-run deficit. He did a great job, worked around a 1-out walk in the 7th inning, nicely turned double play. That's we'll hear a little bit later, 4-6-3. Got through the 8th inning, 1-2-3. So really nice job by David Morgan today. 2 scoreless innings, and he is our relief pitcher of the game. Wandy Peralta did a good job, scored the 6th inning. Obviously, the 2 guys that were not superb out of the bullpen. Jeremiah Estrada walked the batter, gave up the 2-run double to win on what was a good pitch. I mean, it was way down, and Wynn golfed it down the left field line for a 2-run double. Yuki Matsui, obviously a tough 9th inning, gave up 2 runs, and that helped the Cardinals put this game away. I do want to mention one thing about the offense because, look, they did have 5 runs on 9 hits, and I know I said earlier I pin it more on the offense here tonight, and I guess the counter to that would be, hey, you got 5 runs in this game, and on a lot of nights that's going to be good enough to win a game. I think my point is they had a 4-0 lead. The Cards come back to tied at 4. They take a 6-4 lead, and the Padres really never punched back. I mean, they didn't do anything in the 4th inning, nothing in the 5th, same in the 6th, same in the 7th, same in the 8th inning. So they had ample time in what was a 2-run deficit for most of all that until it was the 9th inning. They had ample time to create a rally against what is not a great Cardinals pitching staff, a very young right-hander in McGreevy, who they were hitting earlier. So my point is, yes, the 4 runs early were great, but hey, once St. Louis tied the game, took a lead, Padres offense had to find a way to punch back, and they could not do that here tonight. Let's hear today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
Pitch line sharply on one hop. Cronenworth has it. Flips to Bogart's one. On to first in time in a double play. Gonna hang a star for Jake Cronenworth. A rocket. And he makes the short hop play and a double play to end the inning.
Certainly a rocket off the bat of Wilson Contreras, 108 on the exit velo. Really well done. It was Cronenworth to Bogarts, who made a good strong throw to first base, a double play to help David Morgan through that 7th inning and help keep this game at a 2-run deficit. Really nice defensive play. Had the Padres come back to win this one. Certainly would look at a play like that as a very crucial one to keep the deficit right where it was. That is tonight's catch of the game. Let's look on the offensive side again. Let's tell you about the heart of the lineup.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health, the official healthcare provider of 97.3 The Fan. Palomar Health, leading with heart for every patient. Palomar Health is reimagining healthcare.
For a second straight night in this series, it was quite a productive night for the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Padres lineup. That's Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, Xander Bogaerts. They had a combined 5 hits, including a home run, 2 RBIs. They had 2 runs scored. So a nice job by those 3 guys, 3, 4, 5, Manny, Merrill, and Bogaerts combining for 5 hits, 2 RBIs, a home run, and 2 runs scored. And most of that's most of it coming in the third. Certainly the run producing, or I should say before the end of the third, certainly the run producing elements did, with the Padres scoring 4 runs in the third to take a 4-0 lead. I think that's what's overall just frustrating about tonight is that, hey, you had a 4-0 lead. This is a Cardinals team that's not playing well. They just sold off the trades deadline, and you would like to think with this pitching staff and this bullpen, and obviously Randy giving up the 4 runs in the 4th inning did not help, and then the 2 runs in the 5th inning coming in. I get that. But I suppose that would be kind of the frustration tonight. You sort of were rolling early on, 4-0 lead. You're looking at a 7th consecutive win and kind of unraveled in the middle innings, and the Padres offense never could answer. When we come back, if you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, play the game, wrap things up, get you ready for the rubber game of this series tomorrow. St. Louis wins at 8-5 on this Saturday at Petco Park. Our postgame coverage continues after this.
Stay tuned to the Jamul Casino.
Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Cardinals win at 8-5 to even up this three-game series at a game apiece. The series finale tomorrow, the homestand finale tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. We'll have more on that game in just a second. And then the Padres head to Arizona. Quick road trip, just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before an off day on Thursday, back home Friday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Arizona, a very different looking Diamondback team than the one we saw before the trade deadline. Josh Naylor has been moved. Eugenio Suarez has been moved. Merrill Kelly has been moved. So Diamondbacks certainly sellers at the deadline. Padres will face the D-backs starting on Monday. But first things first, the rubber game of this series tomorrow. More on that starting pitching matchup and all that good stuff coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. Everything has gone final. White Sox beat the Angels 1-0 in Anaheim. Diamondbacks beat the A's 7-2 in Sacramento. Rangers beat the Mariners in 11 on the road in Seattle 6-4. Mets beat the Giants 12-6 in New York. Pete Alonso, his 250th career home run in that game. Marlins beat the Yankees 2-0 in Miami. Marlins beat the Yankees for a second straight game. You got to see Jazz Chisholm in this game getting picked off first base on a pop-up to second base, like on the lip of the outfield grass. I mean, I said it earlier, the mistakes the Yankees continue to make on the bases, in the field, it's rough right now. And the 2 runs in that game for Miami came courtesy of Agustin Ramirez. Hit a home run in the first inning. In the fourth inning, that was it. Marlins win it 2-0 against the Yanks. Guardians beat the Twins 5-4 in Cleveland. Reds beat the Astros 7-3 at Fenway. Brewers beat the Nationals 8-2 in DC. Tigers beat the Phillies 7-5 in Philadelphia. Rockies beat the Pirates 8-5 in Colorado. Blue Jays 4, Royals 2 in Toronto. Orioles beat the Cubs 4-3 in Chicago. Gunnar Henderson, a 3-run home run in that game for Baltimore. Rays beat the Dodgers at Tampa Bay today 4-0. Blake Snell returned to the mound in that game, but he gave up a couple of home runs, 2 of them to Yandy Diaz as the Dodgers fall 4-0. And by the way, the lead for LA remains at 3 games over the Padres for first place in the NL West. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We did have one suspended game. It was that MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. They did finally get that game underway, but then more rain, and then they suspended it after 1 inning. 1-0 Cincinnati leading in that game. They will resume that game at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. So there was rain there, and then they started the game, then they had to stop the game. So I would highly assume they've burned the starting pitcher, so that's not great, but is what it is, and they'll resume that game tomorrow in Tennessee. The Motor Speedway, or what do they call it? The MLB Speedway Classic between the Braves and the Reds. Final score here tonight, Cardinals 8 and the Padres 5. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
1-0. Win in the air down the left field line. That's trouble, and a fair ball going to go to the corner. Herrera scores easily. Burleson is being waved. Relay from Machado is in time, but Fermin couldn't squeeze it, and he's safe. A 2-run double for Mason Wynn, and for the first time tonight, the Cardinals lead. It's 6-4.
Mason Wynn, that 2-run double in the 5th inning, kind of feels like it has to be our play of the game here tonight. Gave the Cardinals a 6-4 lead. That was off Jeremiah Estrada. 2 outs in the inning. Estrada 1 out away from getting out of a big jam. 2 on and nobody out. One of the runs charged against Randy Vasquez, one charged against Estrada, and the Cardinals go on to win this game 8-5. They took that 6-4 lead. They would never relinquish the lead. Hey, got to give credit to the Cardinals here today. They trailed 4-0 in this game, but did not fold. Scored 4 runs in the 4th inning, including that game-tying 3-run home run from Pedro Pajes, and then the 2-run double for Wynn gave him the lead for good. And that was that here tonight, setting up the rubber game of this 3-game series. Speaking of tomorrow's game, first pitch tomorrow, a Sunday matinee, as is the case most Sundays here in downtown San Diego. First pitch tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage from right here inside the Western Metal Building will begin at 12:10. Right-hander Andre Palante on the mound for St. Louis. Right-hander Dylan Cease on the mound for San Diego. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Final totals here tonight in the middle game of this 3-game set. For the Cardinals, 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They left on 6. For the Padres, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left on 5. Winning pitcher in this game, Michael McGreevy, who improves to 3-2. Losing pitcher, Randy Vasquez, who drops to 3-5. And the save goes to JoJo Romero, his first of the season. Time of game, 2 hours, 37 minutes in the crowd at Petco Park here today. The 48th sellout of the season, 44,533. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 1:10 p.m. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Bobby Sharton, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. And the final score here tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals 8 and the San Diego Padres 5. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.